So we're back with probably one of the most divisive games I've played on the channel for a long time. I kind of understand why. Right, can we get vengeance for Barry? Okay. Let's get the research up first. Research 4. Feline hairstylist to the CV. Let's get it done. Right. I put on my latex gloves and gather my tools. Brush, scissors, swabs, kitty wipes. Got to do the voice. Can't help but think I've forgotten something. Oh, of course. The treats. I might take a second. Because the song is literally somebody singing meow. Creative. I leave the tent and head for the lab, stopping to stroke a few of the island's residents on the way. Meow, meow, meow. Oh wow, we're changing. Call out to the lazy subjects as I enter the lab. Oh no, she just pretended to be one. Looky, looky, what I have got. I shake the bag of treats and the small lab erupts with hungry meows. If you want these, you'll have to behave, okay? I open the first crate, home of the grouchy old Mr. Bumble, and gently lift him onto the counter to be groomed. Morning, Grumpy. Let me check your ears. No debris. Lovely. I have a feeling you may be discharged in the next week. I have a feeling you may be discharged in the next day or two. He was brought in with a mild infection, slight temperature, weepy eyes, but he seems to have recovered remarkably well. In fact, I'm going to recommend to Professor Purrfect that we release him by the end of the week. I give Mr. Bumble a cheeky cuddle before I begin to brush his matted fur. Kind of lost my voice a little bit there. Wow, where does it all come from? There's enough fur here to make another cat. Mr. Bumble is beginning to get agitated and lets out a displeased grumble. I know, it's very annoying. Just got to trim you up a bit, and then you can go back to sleep. He silently lets me cut some of his hair around his bum and the back of his hind legs. Aren't you a good boy? Here we go. Om nom nom. I pour some of the little fish-shaped treats onto the counter, and the ragamuffin practically inhales them. Now, let's get you back into your cozy crate. Tuck him away and open the next one. Your turn, Socks. Just a cut and colour, yeah? I snort at my own joke and begin brushing the little white cat. He's a lot more lively than the old Bumble and keeps trying to bite the brush. Hey, don't make me get the harness, Socks. That's no fun for either of us. The cat seems to understand and settles down, only giving the brush an occasional nip when he thinks I won't notice. Oh, hello. What's this? Notice a little red patch on his neck, just under his chin. Oh, no. We don't have botflies, do we? Poor Soxy. I take the magnifying glass out of my inner pocket and examine the inflamed area closer. Ouch. Socks begins to struggle away from me. He must be in quite a lot of discomfort. It's okay, Socks. I'm just looking. I stroke the little cat and try to calm him down. I hate using sedatives on the subjects unless absolutely necessary. After a while, I'm able to get a better look at the wound. Doesn't seem to be anything living under here. I'm relieved I don't have to deal with any botflies. It looks strange. Like a rash or a sore, but I'm not sure how or where you could have picked it up. That's probably chemical testing from the horrible cream. I'm wary about how to proceed. Should I just clean it with some saline solution and let the air get to it? Or should I put some of the Professor's soothing cream 116 on it and wrap it in gauze? Solution? I don't trust the Professor. A sore like this should be cleaned with some saline. No need for anything stronger. I'll reassess the need for the cream 116 if it hasn't cleared up in a few days. I pour some saline onto the gauze and gently clean Soxy's wound. He squirms a little. It's not very comfortable for him, but generally he sits pretty well, and it's done in no time. I don't see how she's so calm when she knows everything that's happened. Yes! No, it looks. More research. Disco cat. Let's go. Research 6. Follicle miracle. Time for some serious testing in the labs. I'm intrigued to see what kind of work the professor has up his sleeve. Let's go. Whoa, my stomach is queasy. I really don't want to do this. It's strange. I'm used to treating subjects with medication and injections. Something about this doesn't feel right. It's because the professor's an arsehole, and he got people to shoot Barry. Hello, you. I smile at the gentle cat on the table in front of me. I look at the syringe in my hand. I turn to the professor. What are we testing for with these meds again? He looks up from his desk. Is there a problem, Chungus? I've already told you. It's supposed to stimulate hair growth. Why do we need to stimulate hair growth? Why, indeed. However, ours is not to question why, Chungus. The likes of you and I perform the tasks set out by the people who pay our wages. Such is life, eh? The professor returns to his work, and I understand the conversation is over. Look back at the little cat. His name is Smokey. He's a Lokoi? Lokoi. I'll just say Lokoi. Cat with very short, fine hair. A real sweetie. I suppose the professor is right. This is just my job, and although I feel terrible, I find a way to ignore the pangs of guilt and inject Smokey with the medication. He squeals, but it's over quickly and he can return to his cage. How long does this usually take? The professor looks up again, slightly irritated. I don't know, Chungus, but you're being paid to find that out, aren't you, my dear? Oh, yes, of course. I make a note of the time and observe the cat. After 5 minutes, there's no noticeable change. 10 minutes, still no change. After half an hour, I think I notice his hair looks a little different, but I suspect my eyes are playing tricks on me. 1 hour in, and all of a sudden I can see the hair is visibly longer and seems to be continuing to grow. I must say, I'm very impressed and a little confused. I decide to take a tea break. Smokey seems content to nap for a while. Can I get you a cup of tea, Professor? Oh no, I don't know how you can tolerate that foul stuff. It brew up in the mess tent. I said that wrong. I have my thermos of coffee here, thank you. Fair enough, I'll be back in a bit. Ooh. I've only been gone 10 minutes at the most, but enter. With my mug of tea, I instantly notice the drama taking place in Smokey's cage. I find it hard to stifle a laugh. Oh my goodness, Professor, have you seen this? The professor looks up, exasperated by another interruption. Then he notices the cage. Oh dear! Well, just don't stand there, Chungus. Get him out! I open the front of the cage and pull out the large hairball that Smokey has turned into. His fur tumbles over my arm as I cradle the bewildered cat. Well, I never. Very interesting, isn't it, Chungus? I think it's still growing, Professor. I do believe you're right. Perhaps we should consider the clippers. Professor hands me a small set of silver electric clippers, and I immediately begin using them over the ever-expanding Smokey. I continue to shave for the next 15 minutes until he finally seems to run out of fur. My, that's a lot of hair. We both stand staring at the pile of fur at our feet. Just keep a small amount for testing and put the rest of it out back. Mora can dispose of it later. Mora? Miss Marigold. Excellent work today, Chungus. Most interesting findings. Thank you, sir. Although the results had nothing to do with me, I'm left feeling a tad guilty about Smokey's ordeal. As I place him back in his cage and check for any signs of trauma, when satisfied he's okay, I awkwardly take my leave. Okay, so we're smashing through it. Research 9 already. Could just do the research and go home, but it was raised in the comment section that maybe Barry might not have died if we'd been a bit nicer to the snooty bottom. Let's go hit the well. Actually, what's the research first? No. Look at it later. Recon. We've got 2 and 7. And the other one will be here. From Fluffy Boat. Trixie's been telling me about a strange phenomenon in the nearby rock pool. I decided it's probably worth checking out. Music in this game gets me. I've taken some time off today so that Trixie can show me the water pools she's been telling me about. I have some sample bottles in my backpack, along with some food and a blanket if it's nice. We can have a picnic lunch there. So these pools appear to be different colours. They don't appear to be, Yumi. They are. Well, we can't prove that until we've tested them. Reflection, refraction and dispersion can play some fancy tricks on the eye. Pooh to your testing. You should take all the magic away, science person. It makes your world very dull, I think. Maybe you're right, Trixie. Let's wait and see what wonders you are going to show me, eh? That's right, this way. Very pretty area. She's disappeared from sight. I run to the cliffside where she was walking and look over the edge. I can see that she's jumped to a small rock shelf, about 4 meters down from where I stood. Come on, you can do it. Don't be afraid, cat. I'm concerned about how I'll get back up again, actually. There are kind of steps further along, but this one's closer to the entrance. Now wanting to appear too much of a killjoy, I clamber over the edge and lower myself down, dropping the last few feet. Impressive. You're getting a feline spring in your step. If you say so. I'm worried I may have twisted my ankle, but I don't want to say anything. Follow me, Springy. It disappeared again. It's like keeping up with a jackrabbit. Follow my voice. And suddenly an alarming sound is coming from between two rock faces. It's high-pitched, screeching and very loud. I squeeze through the crevice, and I'm in what looks like a cave without a ceiling. Trix, stop. Trix, stop! The sound is amplified in the enclosure. It's becoming deafening. Sorry, Humi, but it feels so good. Have a try. What? Yell, shout, scream, sing. At the top of your voice. Loud as you can. Really? I feel self-conscious, but I'm dying to have a go. You only live once, and it's so fabulous. She makes the noise again, and this time I join in. It's fantastic. The acoustics are something else. It's like an amphitheatre. Eventually we run out of steam and I flop to the ground exhausted and exhilarated too. After we caught our breath, I'm ready to push onwards. We better get on if we don't want to be back too late. We're here. Ooh. I'm surprised. I was expecting something more impressive, I suppose. This place? I look around, and for the first time I notice several small pools of water, not much larger than puddles, around the edges of the enclosure. Oh, I see. I bend down to the nearest pool and see straight away. It's the deepest red. Looks like blood. Look at mine, like liquid sky. I cross the opposite side where Trixie's sitting, and sure enough, there's the clearest, richest blue water. And melted emeralds. Again I follow her to another pool, greenest as spring foliage. Then another deepest purple, one of orange, yellow, pink. And it certainly is amazing, as you said, Trix. How strange that they're all so different. What's causing it? It has to be a trick of the light. But put your hand in. Well, I'm not sure that's a good idea. We could have any number of bacteria making this happen. Best not to touch until we're sure it's safe. I've done it lots, it's fine. I glance over and sure enough, she has her furry little paws in the golden coloured water. Somewhat reassured, I scoop some of the blue water up and sniff it. It smells wonderful, as though it's been perfumed. What is this smell? It's weirdly familiar. Take out my bottles and begin collecting the waters. My theory about the light is blown when I line the little bottles up together and they each retain their original hue. Something is dyeing this water. I can't wait to get back to the lab to run some tests. We can go back the easy way if you like. Follow me. We head back along the rock shelf and go past the spot we jumped down on the way here. Further along there is an ascent, just as Trixie had said. I would hardly call it steps. Someone has clearly tried to make a trail here. It's a bit rough and ready. Further along still, I can make out a large empty metal drum. It's rusted. Obviously discarded some time ago. Get a closer look. You see there is a tap near the base, and the remains of a label, but I can barely make out the words. I take a picture of it with my catalogue to decipher later. The perfume I smelled in the cave seems to be stronger here. I'm very intrigued. Trixie couldn't be less interested in all of this. She's happily skipping ahead looking for a good picnic spot for us. I'll have to be patient with my investigations. Okay, so that's obviously some of the chemicals they've been testing on these animals and then just dumped it. Bastards. Now we need to rest. When we rest we have scatty dreams. Trixie and Kibbles have brought me to the ridge where the pools of coloured water collect. We call them rainbow pools. It's a beautiful day. And there's a vivid rainbow across the sky. Kibbles is over the other side from me shouting. Wow, look at this! Come over here! He sounds further away than he is. My hearing isn't quite right, but I don't mind. Well, what is it? You need to see it. Suddenly I'm beside him. He's looking over the edge of the cliffs. When I look down, the sea is further away than I expected. Such a long way down. Do you see it? And I feel a push from behind as I begin to fall. I hear Trixie laugh. Curiosity did what? Artos. And I'm not falling at all. I'm floating, light as a feather. Fly, little bird. Fly away home. This is the best feeling ever. I'm going higher now, up towards the rainbow. I'm going to touch it. Mind you, don't get scorched by the sun. I feel myself being shaken. Yumi, you really ought to go in now. It's too hot out here to sleep. I'm on a patch of scrub grass beside my tent. I'm just having a moment of shut-eye in the sun, but I must have fallen asleep. Thank you, Trixie. I smile at the calico cat as I surreptitiously scratch at the prickly heat on my legs. Okay, so flying high as a kite. Shouldn't sniff the funny water. Recon! 7. Snoots has brought me something intriguing. Snooty. Chungas, are you sleeping? You really ought to be awake by now. Snooty Booty, are you okay? What are you doing in my tent? All this lazing about is very bad for your complexion. Say nothing about the dragging effects on the delicate tissue around the eyes. Is there something I can help you with? Possibly. I have something I want you to look at. Right now, what time is it? Time you were active. Come along. Well, at least let me get ready. Very well. Snooty Booty sits down and starts grooming herself. After a moment she looks up again. Why aren't you ready yet? Can you leave the tent so I can get dressed? Oh, for goodness sake. Snooty Booty rolls her eyes and walks out. I get dressed and resignedly follow her. What do you think it is? I'm intrigued. It's a coconut tree, you pillock. We're on the beach, staring at a partially buried bottle sealed inside a plastic bag. It looks as though it's only recently washed up. Well, there's only one way to find out. Pull the bottle out of the sand. There's some kind of document or note in the bag along with the bottle. What is this thing? Read it to me. It's a good thing I'm just as curious as Snooty, or I would be feeling a lot more irritable by now. Carefully unseal the bag and unfold the paper. Read the note out loud. Initial tests on the most recent formula are encouraging. Subjects 6 through 18 appeared visibly younger. Moderate to severe side effects noted, including increased hair growth and marked mood alteration. Subjects 1 through 5 had major complications, some new small tumours, skin irritation, partial blindness and memory loss. We need you to look into this, check for contaminants and continue to iterate on the formula. Okay. Appeared visibly younger. Snooty Booty. Is that the most important thing you gathered from this report? You're quite right, Chungus. We ought not to trust it. This note could have been written by anyone. We shall conduct our own experiment. Apply the cream to my skin. You've lost your mind, Snooty Booty. Do not hear what I read out. Tumours, blindness, memory loss. Statistics bore me. You should know by now. Let's live a little. I'm willing to take the risk in the name of science. You took the risk on that skin cream you gave me, didn't you, Snooty Booty? I did. What of it? And you developed welts all over your neck, didn't you? Possibly there was a link. As I recall, we never did rule out the coconut hair collar that Trixie made for me. I believe that was around the same time. Right, I'm seriously advising you not to do anything with this ointment. I'm going to get my kit bag from the lab and see if we can work out what this stuff is made of. I was hoping the lab would be free, but the professor is here making some notes. Ah, hello, Chungus. I thought you were taking a day off from the lab today. Yes I am, Professor. I just wanted to check something. I can't take the test equipment away without the Professor getting suspicious. I'll have to come up with some kind of excuse. Choices. Is Chungus sneaky? Is Chungus excuseful? You would do excuse. Well, I wanted to get ahead on some of the field work. There are some samples I found that I think would be useful. Pick up the field kit bag. Pawpaw looks up from his work. Oh, what sort of samples? I have to make this believable, but also invite no other questions. Samples are fecal. Fecal? Yes, a large pooser. It's rather interesting properties. Jolly good. Off you go then. Nailed it. I take the bag and leave. What a load of shit. As I approach the beach, it becomes clear Snooty Booty's managed to break into the ointment. She appears to have spilled some on her, and is now busy rolling around in it. Snooty Booty, what were you thinking? This could be very dangerous. The only danger here is the ghastly sand sticking to my delicate skin. Do help me get rid of it, Chungus. I tried to wipe the sand off, but it's stuck like glue underneath the layer of sand. I can see her skin is very pink. There's no time to lose. I pick her up and run to the ocean, trying to use the salt water to clean off as much ointment as I can. Put me down. What on earth? I've never been so humiliated in my life. She twists out of my grip and scampers off in a huff. I think I've gotten it all off, so I leave her to it. Now back to the samples. There's not much I can do here on the beach, so I'll have to wait until Professor Pawpaw has finished in the lab. Okay, well that was quick. As luck would have it, the Professor needed to retire to his tent earlier than usual. He has to read some research papers that arrived from the mainland this morning. So now I can continue looking into this ointment. I begin by testing the substances for several common compounds in cosmetics, but it's negative for all of them. I widen the test for other organic compounds and get a match. About 30% of the ointment is cat saliva? They're using saliva from the cats on the island. They could be infecting all their test subjects with catification. Where have these other side effects come from? I run the ointment again, just looking for known pharmaceuticals. Before I can get the results back, Snooty Booty comes trotting in. I just thought you should know that the security guard is coming this way. You should make yourself scarce before he arrives. Not that I care what happens to you after all. You threw me into the ocean. I'm trying to finish the experiment now, but I'll work on it later, in the privacy of my tent. Take my things and run before Zane arrives. Okay, the plot thickens. Woohoo! 20.8%. Getting there, very slowly. Although, what, 20? Is there enough people? Time to romance, because I don't believe we have the other recon. Nope. Boom, boom, boom. Romance. Hey, we got a choice. Oh yeah, because I never did choose. Which one can I be bothered to do the voice of? Did we decide based on what the actual thingy was? So, Brief about is a message in a bottle again. And that one's McMurphy's documents. Okay. Well, we'll do the general. I'm not sure what to expect. I've come to the forest with Fluffybutt for what I assumed would be a pleasant way to spend my afternoon off work. I've now discovered that he's billing it as an informative afternoon of instruction and practical participation. This sounds suspiciously like a lecture to me. Oh well, as Professor Pauper would say, a scientist must keep an open mind. This is something I would normally do alone, but you strike me as a like-minded soul, interested in both gastronomic and anatomic pleasures. Perhaps it would be a good time to lay down the blanket I asked you to bring. Don't want to put that tender skin of yours under duress. Smooth. I lay the blanket on the ground awkwardly and wonder where he's going with this. Relax, Chungus. This seriously doesn't take very long. Suddenly, without warning, there's a loud plop as a bird plummets out of the sky onto the blanket. Told you so. Oh my, it's dead. As a doornail. What happened to it? Just the force field, of course. Now enough foolish questions, Chungus. Let's get started, shall we? Just like the lectures from my uni. Exactly are we doing here, Fluffybutt? I told you, don't use that ridiculous name. I prefer Major, if you please. Exactly are we doing here, Major? This is my little surprise. I'm a bird fancier. Oh, and you fancy your bird's dead? Quite! All the better to practice my other pursuits. I know I'm going to regret asking this, but what pursuit would that be, Major? Probably eating. I'm a self-taught pathologist. Okay. You mean as in post-mortem? Somewhat rudimentary, don't you know, but I can now find my way around the innards of the average seagull with remarkable dexterity. Yes, well, whatever floats your boat. I'm interested in crossword puzzles myself. Not everyone's cup of tea, but it occupies a wet afternoon. Okay, back to the task at hand, Chungus. I shall now begin the autopsy. Keep your wits about you. There will be questions at the end. I knew this was a lecture. Fluffybutt pings out a razor-sharp claw and begins going to town on the bird. Lovely. Incision from sternum to base. On first examination, the skeleton appears to be typical. I note there is no break in the neck, indicating the force field rather than fall killed the bird. Okay, I feel rather queasy. Oh really? Yes, point of interest. Sometimes the initial zap the bird receives from flying into the force field merely stuns them, and it's the impact of the fall which provides the fatal blow. This chap, however, appeared to have suffered cardiac arrest. You can see from the size, or lack thereof, of the heart, that even a minor jolt could have been enough to induce seizure. Having removed the tiny organ, Major has now begun digging around inside the carcass as though rummaging in a lucky dip. Now removing entrails for further examination. Oh, do get a better look, Chungus. It's rather revealing. I can see something in the stomach sac. Stomach sac? Looks like. Oh my, it's cold. A lucky day, Chungus. Here, have a look. Some kind of nugget. No thank you, Major. I'm not in the mood for playing with the contents of a seagull's stomach. Don't be ridiculous. This is not a game, Chungus. May I remind you that we are in the middle of a very serious post-mortem. I expect you as my assistant to maintain professionalism. My stomach is doing flips as I hold the object between my thumb and forefinger. What is this thing? It's so small. Kind of looks like a... Cripes. It's a tooth. Major, it's a gold tooth. Ah, good find. You're a natural. Can't help but wonder why a seagull would have a gold tooth in its stomach. Presumably, Major, this is from the mouth of a human. I think you're probably right. How did it get in the seagull? What an inquiring mind. You'd make an excellent apprentice if you like. I could pass on to you the skills I have acquired. That would be a feather in your cap, eh? I resigned myself to the fact that he's not going to be drawn into speculation. Okay, well, I'll bear that in mind, Major. I don't have the heart to tell him that I came to the top of my class at veterinary surgery. And now, to the victor of the spoils. Don't be shy. I've already carved. Oh, Gosh, do you mean? Of course, tuck in. We won't stand on ceremony here. It's a good one too. Plenty of fat. Hey, what? It's a raw bird. I have to think fast. Do I really want to eat raw seagull carved up by a cat on the forest floor? There's no way that's going to happen. I don't want to hurt his feelings, particularly I can't afford to be laid up with salmonella poisoning through the people-pleasing, cat-pleasing even. Oh no, silly me, I didn't realise we'd be having lunch night before we came out here. Well, just a taste then. Oh, Major, tempting though it looks, I simply can't touch a single bite. Nonsense, Chungus, I insist. I would feel a very poor host indeed if my guest refused my hospitality. Oh no, this is going to be harder than I thought. Purrfect is standing in front of me, presenting what looks like a tiny liver on the palm of his paw. I need to think fast. Oh, that's my cat. I can't hear any. It's on vibrate. The professor is calling. What bad timing. Can you believe it? Going to have to head off. But our feast. Such a shame. So sorry. Please do go ahead without me. Oh, another time then. Tempted to make excuses, but notice the eager look on his little face. And I feel a pull on my heartstrings. Oh yes, without doubt, another time. Then I toast your health. The Major pops the liver into his mouth and starts cat chewing in a very unattractive way. I realise I'm staring and catch myself. Enjoy. Bon appetit. Bye. I make a swift and graceless retreat. It's a nice twist. Let's have some seagull for dinner. If you enjoyed this episode, then tickle the like button, perhaps subscribe and check out the rest of the channel. And why not join us on the Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. Links are in the description and rolling through the credits right now. I've been Landis, this has been Purrfect Date. Thank you very much, and see you soon.